The pandemic has intensified mental health challenges, including on college campuses. Texas State University is rolling out a virtual simulation program to improve the well-being of their community. Here to talk about that is Richard Martinez, coordinator of the Educational Programming and Outreach at Texas State University. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, how serious is the mental health situation at Texas State?
Well, let me start by saying that there's a lot of normal challenges that students have as part of their transition to college and early adulthood. We know that students are adjusting to living away from home for the first time, having those first serious romantic relationships and breakups, exploring aspects of their identity, trying to meet the demands of their classes, in addition to trying to navigate quarantine and the pandemic and trying to keep themselves safe throughout that process. We know that these experiences can lead to anxiety, stress, and depression for those students. Here at Texas State, we're really seeing similar concerns that are widely documented across universities. There's high demand for mental health services, and there's many reasons for that. So we know that this generation has more positive help-seeking behaviors and attitudes, so there's less stigma around seeking counseling and reaching out for help. If you think about it, this generation has celebrities who are very open and forthcoming about their own mental health experiences, and that's translated into the students that we work with as well.
You know, can you give us an idea of how many students are coming in for help? I mean, what percentage of the student body, for example, seeks out this help with mental health issues?
Absolutely. So nationally, we see that the average is about 25% of college students over their time and experience within a university reach out for professional help. And we see those numbers mirror and match the numbers that we have at our university's counseling center as well.
Okay. Now, Texas State has this new virtual simulation program. Can you tell us how it works?
Absolutely. So this is a program that we've actually had an iteration of this going since 2013. So it's been tested and widely used here at Texas State's campus. It's one of the many prevention tools that we use to help students and faculty and staff. The way the program works is that faculty, staff, and students log into a virtual simulation, and it takes about 40 minutes, and they're faced with several different scenarios. So there's students who have realistic concerns. And what it trains you to do is it teaches you how to identify a student in distress, practice listening skills, empathy, asking challenging questions, and connecting them with the appropriate resources. I really like the program because it has a virtual coach. So if you're not quite sure what to say, or you say something that doesn't quite fit with the scenario, it actually gives you real-time feedback on how to rephrase the question or come at it from a different angle to help approach the student in a different way.
You know, could you give us a few examples of some of the real-life issues that students are bringing to you to get help?
Absolutely. So the simulations in Kognito actually mirror quite well what we're seeing in real life and coming through our door at the counseling center. So one of the scenarios that it walks faculty and staff through is having a student who's experiencing anxiety that's starting to impact their academic performance. We also see a situation where a student is experiencing symptoms of psychosis, so having some disturbances in their thought patterns and having some visual disturbances as well. And then finally, the scenario walks through faculty and staff through a situation where a student is actually experiencing thoughts of suicide and helping to navigate that situation and connect them with resources around that concern. So having taught at the academic level and now being a psychologist in a counseling center, these situations aren't far off from what we are seeing in real life.
Okay. All right. We appreciate the time you're taking to tell us about this. Richard Martinez with Texas State. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also, if you know someone who is in distress, there is always help available. All you need to do is call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK.